So, yeah, what was I going to say there about
the comments?
the comments about podcasts. Yeah. So they say podcasting equipment should be more expensive.
Yeah.
You should need a license to start a podcast.
Yeah.
And like there was one clip that it was from like when me and Mike did the pod, and it went kind of viral, and then like it was just like all the comments were like positive, and then it was like whatever, a bunch of views and likes or whatever, and then just one guy being like, these guys think they're Joe Rogan. These guys want to be Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And for the first time in like the history of fucking TikTok, people were actually like defending. They were just like, no, Rogan's not funny. These guys are whatever.
Yeah.
But that's just so rare. For the most part, it's just fucking.
It's good to get negative comments. I've heard from people who are like, because it means that
for engagement.
Because it means it's going past
to people.
It's going beyond that.
Yeah, the best thing. The things that have got done well for me are things that have gone to, like, if you take the piss out of, I don't know, like Rogan, Trump, Elon Musk, Andrew Tate's a big one.
Yeah.
If a clip of you like shitting on Andrew Tate gets to his people, they fucking lose their minds. They go.
And Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah. Did you ever wonder why he was crying? Like I remember they were made fun of him crying, and they were doing an impression. And there was some guy being like, "Yeah, sure, laugh it up." But did you ever consider maybe why he was crying?
Yeah. Or some guy was
no.
some guy was like, "Yeah, he's actually crying because he's so intelligent that he's like able to experience the pain of everyone in the world. So it's actually like
he's
good
Jesus.
thing that he's crying." Basically,
Jesus.
Jordan Peterson's emotions demolish himself.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah, and I've never known a man to cry as easily as him.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the hate on
so bloody hard.
But with the hate on the internet thing, Adam Rowe, you know Adam Rowe?
Yeah.
He said that like he used to like DM people who gave him hate.
Yeah.
And be like, "Yeah, what's going on, man? Like, what's going on?"
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And he said like a lot of the time people would be like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I've got like something going on at my like." It's insane, like it's fucking insane that people. But yeah, like I've never gotten that excuse for like, you know, like if you're like someone treats like someone shitty, like if you treat a retail worker badly or whatever, and like I was having a bad day. It's like I've had a million horrendous days, and I've never thought like I'm gonna take it out on the fucking.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, I do.
Really?
Oh my god!
Do you take it out on
those weaklings?
Yeah.
Those powerless little dweebs.
No, you take it out on audiences.
Have you yelled at an employee at a store?
No. I've definitely gotten passive aggressive if I'm in a bad mood, but like I usually like. No. But usually I match other people's energy. Like if someone's a little cunty to me, I'll go a little cunty at that.
Yeah.
When I say match, I mean it's like price matching, but like for being a cunt.
Yeah.
You're like, if you're that cunty, I can be this.
I can be the same.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll do that. I'll match the energy. If you're being a cunt to me, if you're like a retail worker or you just whatever some job.
Do you know who I take? Oh, sorry.
Go for it.
I take it out on people on the train.
Oh yeah,
like not moving down the carrot. You know what I mean? Like that's when I'm getting.
Do you say it? Do you verbalize?
Yeah, I'd be like,
it?
move down the train. Like, cause you know when you're rushing for a train, everyone goes. People in front of you get on. They're like, oh, I'm on the train now, so I don't need to move. They just stand in the door, and you're like, the train's about to go, and you're like, move on to the train.
I'm on the train now. There couldn't possibly be anyone behind me trying to get on the train as well. But most people appreciate that. Like, cause I'm on the London subreddit, and most people there are like, they're very pro seeing people getting called out for shitty behaviour on the tube and stuff.
I do it when I'm getting off. When I get off the train, they're trying to get on.
By the way, you're all
yeah. I always go full arms out wide, and I go, "Come on!"
Yeah.
Yes,
that's the only time I do it.
Oh, you mean when people are trying to
when
get
they're trying to get on when I'm trying to get off?
I do the same.
Arms as wide as possible.
I just go, wait a second. You're gonna get on the train.
Relax.
Yeah. I've done that when I get off, and I'm just like, "Let me off the train!" Like I just raise my voice. I just fucking and people are like, "Jesus Christ!" It's like Moses in the Red Sea. Like just fucking.
You're the Red Sea. Cunt.
That is.
It's. I mean, I think London. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but I feel like having moved to London has made me definitely an angrier person. Maybe not angry.
You stand up
like,
for yourself more.
Stand up for yourself more. I think.
Yeah.
I feel like
yes.
Like just with constant. I mean, there's some people that I won't. Call out their bad behavior on trains and stuff, but you know what I mean. Like the other day, I was crossing the street there at the like from the end of our street over to Sainsbury's, and there was a young gentleman cycling his bike, and I was in the middle of the road, and I thought he was going to go like down the side of the road, but he was actually going across the road because like a fucking idiot. And then he cycled past me, and he almost hit me with his bike, and he was like, fucking, he's like, what are you doing standing in the middle of the road? And I was just like, and then I shouted something at him, and then he was like, what was that? And I was just like, no. I was like, forget about it. No.
I think you need. I think your PSI on your tires.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? You're right. I'm an idiot. Don't forget.
That was at myself.
Yeah,
I was mad at myself.
I was mad at myself for being in the middle of the road. I called myself the N-word, but that's getting bleeped out. But I've said that to I'm very brave when it's like Deliveroo drivers or lads that go through pedestrian, like the green man pedestrian crossings, when they fly they go past. I'm like, cunt. Yeah. But if they fucking like turn around, I'll be like, I don't know who said that. Yeah. I'm an absolute pussy when it comes to that. But like the other day, me and Hamish were on the train. There was this guy, and he was just watching like TikToks or something. It's always people that are too old to be on TikTok that are watching TikToks out loud. Like, it's never.
I don't think they know. They don't realize. They're like, it's my phone in my hand. I can hear. I don't think they think beyond that.
I like if it drives when they're on their own is the one where I'm like, where's the headphone?
Yeah.
They've got the subtitles for a reason.
Exactly.
Volume down.
Yeah, but this guy was like watching just out loud, and then Hamish was like leant over, just like, can you turn that up?
I'm like, I can't hear it. And the rest of us are trying to hear it. Can you turn that up?
And the guy, it just completely went over the guy's head. Yeah, he was just there like.
It was killing. There was a couple next to him that were dying. They were like, this is great.
That's great.
It's great when you're killing with
people on the train.
People on the train.
That is good.
If you're just shooting the shit. I remember, but sometimes it can go the wrong way. There was one time I was getting a train back from this was back now in the day when like me and Anno and all them, like we would just go and do any gig. Like we'd find a gig on Eventbrite that was poetry or something. Yeah. We'd be like, let's go there and just like hustle, try to get our way, like make our way onto that gig or whatever. And we went out to this like African,
just such pests,
just like pests, so unnecessary. Like,
can I go into a poetry now? Like, this is the last thing we want.
Yeah. And we're like, we're gonna subject ourselves to this fucking trauma, and we're gonna traumatize these people who came to watch poetry. And we went out to this like African. Like poetry night thing out in like fucking Harrow or something. We went out and we just got into this like warehouse thing, and we walked into the car park, and then like at the entrance to it was like a community center or something, and it's just like all black people, like just all guys. And then I was just like, oh lad, like this is not, and I'm not saying that because of the thing, but I was like, this is not a comedy. Do you know what I mean? And then we walk in and the event was over, and then we were like, oh, we were gonna ask to get on, and the woman just presumed we were poets, like, and she was just like, oh, we have our next night whenever, and gave us a flyer or whatever. And it was so funny because she said I was with Anno,
yeah,
and then she asked me where I was from, and then I was like, oh, I'm from Ireland, and then she said something about about how Irish and black people have been like oppressed by the Brits or something like that, or she was from whatever. And then Anno made some comment, just like she went to Anno, she was like, yeah, like you wouldn't get it. And Anna was like, yeah, I'm black. And then she was like, yeah, kind of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, we were on the train back from that, and it was like me, Anno, fucking that Sloan kid who's in a psychiatric hospital.
Is he still there?
In Essex, yeah. Shout outs. I know Sloan's listening. I hope you're doing all right, buddy.
Never walk a Sloan.
No, never walk a Sloan.
Yeah.
Sloan alone. And I hope you're doing well, Sloan. But he's a loyal listener of the podcast. We'll have you on when you get your fucking.
Strong reminder that the line between open mic comedy and a psychiatric hospital is razor thin.
It's razor thin. It is right there. When the voices go away, you can come on. And because I've only got 3 microphones. But it's just like he comes on. It's just like Sloan. Like when they put the names of the guests, like Sloan, and just like all of his like fucking
multiple personalities.
Like, we're on the train back, and then we were just chatting about like fucking just horrendous stuff, like just whatever we'd be saying, and some woman like was getting off. She was like, "You're disgusting." She just leant into the circle like, "You're disgusting." I was like, "Yeah." Totally warranted, like, because there's some people who don't have like indoor voices, like, Ollie Moore, a few of those lads, they just don't have indoor voices. Yeah. When I was talking about the horrendous gigs, this other gig that we found, it was in like a youth center in like a shopping mall, and it was for like, I don't know, like disadvantaged youths to get them off the streets to do creative stuff. So there was like pool tables and fucking, musical instruments and video games and stuff, and they had like this open mic for like creatives, and it's usually like young black guys rapping, you know what I mean, and then we would turn up and they're like, oh, we've never had comedians before, and then we were like, oh yeah, I think remember me, who used to go, me, Ahmed and Anno, and we go on and just bomb in front of like, just, we're the only comedians who do it, and they people who run open mics that aren't related to comedy, they've no idea.
It's very loose.
They're just like, oh yeah, do fucking 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And you go up and like, you have to follow some kid. Like I remember once I had to follow a kid who did like a fucking song about his mom who just died like a month ago from like cancer or whatever, and his dad and his sister were in the crowd. Oh my god! He was like, they're here tonight to support me, and he was like, I love you, mom, or whatever. And then you have to go up and be like, whoa!
Dad's just on his phone.
Yeah, Dad's like, what?
Yeah, watching TikToks loudly.
Yeah. Did you ever do any gigs like that when you first moved here out of desperation?
Out of here, did I do any here? I've definitely done like music open mics before.
Yeah,
back in Melbourne. Yeah, but never. It is always crazy where it's like. There was a gig in Melbourne which was a poetry and comedy night, until so many comedians would go, oh great, we get like long sets, we can do as long as we want, and we can just go and turn up at any point and get on, and there's not many poets because how many people are doing open mic poetry?
Too many.
One is too many.
Too many.
But it lasted like, I think it was a month before they said no comedy. Wow. And that is what always happens, which is like open mic where it's like anything goes sort of one, and then like a bunch of comedians find it, go and ruin 1 week. They're like, just music.
Wow. That happened with me and Anno used to go to this thing. It was called Jack's Open Mic, and it was just like a music open mic in a pub, and horrendous layout for stand up, and what was it? Yeah, we went a few times and just stank the place out, and
then you started doing comedy.
We started doing comedy, and one day afterwards he was like, yeah lads, please don't come back, like you're ruining the night, like one time I almost got banned from TikTok for this because I put up a bit. Some guy, I was doing this bit about conversion therapy working or whatever, and some guy walked past me, and then he was just like, yeah, you're right, I used to like comedy and now I don't.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I couldn't think of anything. And he was wearing flip-flops. And I just went, yeah, nice flip-flops, faggot. I think it was before I said I was gay, and then the crowd was like, what the fuck? And I was like, no, I can say it, and then you're like, oh god, you don't believe me. And then I was like, you know what, I'm putting that on TikTok, and I clipped it and I put it on TikTok, and oh boy,
put it on flip-flop.
And the abuse, and then I got reported for like, whatever, using slurs online or whatever. I
got reported for,
yourself. We've all been there. But yeah, I've had 3 strikes on Instagram, and they took away like, when you can collaborate with people. They took away that. And then I had to like email them being like, I'm sorry, whatever, please. I know I've had 3 strikes. And then they took away, I can never do sponsored posts on my Instagram. Yeah. I can't.
They demonetize it.
Huh?
They
demonetize my thing. But this was
no. That means you can't. Like, if you wanted to make an Instagram ad for your show, they won't let you.
No,
I think it's a sponsored post.
You can't do like product placement or something to do with making money from the thing.
Right.
But it's from shit that was
I don't think people can make that much off Instagram anyway. They can make money off TikTok.
Facebook.
But Ali doesn't make any money off Instagram. Yeah. It's only through actual sponsors that give him the money directly.
Yeah.
He'll make
but something's been taken away. Something's been demonetized or something. And it was just for like, people report me for dumb shit. Like, I got 3 strikes. I don't even remember what.
Have you ever reported anyone?
Not for Instagram.
One was I think that was on Instagram. Yeah.
Have you guys ever reported anyone on Instagram or TikTok? Because I'll do it. Like I'll do it when I get those.
But Never for anything that's actually like offensive, just for something I don't like.
Yeah, for sure. I don't like this.
It's like, I'm not interested in.
It's so weird that people do that. But like, I do it to the scam ones when you get a message being like, "Look at my fat tits."
Yeah. Sorry about
that.
So that was one of the reports. That's two. Flip flops. Have a look at my fat tits.
Well, what was? Yeah, there was one guy who. Did I report one guy? I got a death threat from.
You got a death threat?
I got a death threat, from
yourself.
From myself, yeah. From like an Irish gypsy, like a traveller, like.
Yeah.
Who kind of be like, actually, no, I won't make the comparison to. I've done that way too many times on this podcast, but yeah, and he. In fairness, I put up a clip of me just bombing, and then he was just like, "This is one of the worst sets I've ever seen," or whatever. And then I was like, I said, "Yeah, it's hard to compete with that set of tits that your mother has or something." And then he was like, and I know some people say this, but his mother genuinely has just died from breast cancer. And somehow he thought I knew that, and he was just like, "You think it's funny to make fun of my mom dying from breast cancer?" It's like, dude, I don't know you.
Yeah.
How would I know that your mom had breast cancer?
Yeah. You have the bag of tits. I mean, it's a call back to yesterday's episode.
Yeah, this will come out in about a month. But yeah, and then he was like, and he just started commenting on he went back through all my posts, and then saw that I was gay and started like putting all these like homophobic slurs underneath my videos or whatever. And then he DM'd me being like, "Yeah, you're laughing now, but you know, one day you're going to be at a gig and you're going to look up and there's going to be a whole halting site of travellers in the room and all this sort of stuff." I was like, "All right, good stuff." I think I blocked him. I blocked a few people. I think I blocked a few comedians who I just didn't want to see their shit anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
When you're like, I just don't.
Just a block, not even a mute. You're like full block.
Full block.
Yeah.
And then, but I've muted friends of mine where I'm just like, I just don't want to. I love you, but I don't want to see your.
I don't need this in my life.
I don't need this in my fucking life.
I'll see you in real life. I don't need all of this.
Yeah. Of course. So you were in Texas recently, were you?
I was in Austin, in Texas.
Oh wow.
I was
Kill Tony.
No, I didn't compete in Kill Tony.
Yeah.
I was. I was in Austin. I did some gigs there. I did a gig at the Mothership.
Nice.
You did a gig at the Mothership, yeah?
A gig at the Mothership.
Holy shit, nice.
Yep. And it went great. It was great.
Awesome.
You know James McCann?
Yeah.
Great. It was.
I've never met him, but I know who he is.
Yeah, it was opening for him.
I saw someone stole his joke, and he got called out for it on Instagram.
Oh, really?
You know, is it him who has the joke? Fool me once, shame on me.
Oh yeah.
Fool me twice. Yeah, some guy totally ripped that off.
Really?
Yeah, and he got called out for it on Instagram. So you
open such a unique joke. Like it's
so like that's so specifically him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see the cover version.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, that is just covering the joke.
I'm just covering the joke.
I'm just doing a cover of the joke.
It would be funny if you could do covers. Like, have you seen Hamish's cover of that Louis bit?
Yeah.
So good. He really made it. He really made it his own.
He really made his. Yeah, he really put a twist on it.
If you can rebrand like stealing jokes as cover,
just doing a cover. Yeah.
Anthony Jeselnik talks about how like he was doing new one-liners one night, and Louis was watching, and Louis came up after him and said like, every time you did a joke, I thought I knew where it was going, and then you would completely like switch it.
Yeah.
He's like, can I use your setups?
Really?
And do my own punchlines. And he's like, yeah, try it. And he tried it, and they went well. And then like 6 months later, he saw Louis again, and he was still doing the jokes with his setups. Yeah.
Oh wow! All right. Yeah, fucking hell.
Has anyone stolen any of yours?
Jokes?
No,
jokes?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I DM'd them a very nasty message. Yeah.
And what did they say? Just doing a cover.
Just doing a cover, man.
Yeah.
What do they say? Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
I would like to have someone steal my joke just so I can, like, I feel like then you've got a good joke.
Yeah.
And no one's gonna steal a bad joke.
Yeah, there's a guy going around being like, "I'm gay," and he wasn't gay. You know what I mean? Like, you're stealing my fucking
the whole thing. He's stealing my whole life.
Imagine I just started texting anyone who's like
gay,
any gay comedian in London.
Yeah.
I'm like, I heard you stole my act.
I came out with that. I came up with that idea, being gay.
That's mine. Yeah. It's not a real thing. It's just a bit I do.
It's just a bit I do.
It's a life bit that I've been doing this entire time.
Yeah.
Stop stealing it. Stop pretending to be gay. There's only one. It's me.
It's stolen valor, like in a sense, like, but yeah. So some guy stole. And in fairness, it was a bit that was just super offensive, and I couldn't really do it anymore because it was about Palestine and Gaza. So I was like, you know what? Just yeah, whatever. But the joke was like something about the only positive thing to come out of what's happening in Gaza is now that there's less rooftops for them to throw gay people off of or whatever. And I did that South Ken, and a woman stood up and shouted abuse at me. So I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to retire that. I'm going to retire that joke. But
put it on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I was like, fuck. I was like, yeah, I could put that up on, you know, that'll definitely ruffle a few feathers, but
get some engagement.
But you're like, is it worth it? Like, do you know what I mean? For the fucking few hundred.
Deleted if it starts going bad.
Yeah, like a few people have. Yeah, Vittorio, I think, had to do that with
really?
a bit. Yeah.
He put a bit up, deleted it.
He put a bit up, and it was like, the bit was about, how like he has friends who have opinions on the conflict, and he's calling them out, being like, I know you're an idiot who's never read a book, so you can't have an opinion on any, you know, political issue. And then people were like, oh, you have to have read a book to. There wasn't one positive comment, like. And that's when you know you got to probably bail on the
You have to have read a book to have an opinion, and you're like, you really can't stand behind that.
You really can't stand behind that as well.
Actually, you're probably right.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But what was I going to say there? So, yeah, James McCann at the Mothership, what was that like?
It was great. It was great fun. The gig was, he was filming his special, and so...
snap.
Yeah, he was putting on 2 shows. Both were great. And they were super fun.
In the
smaller room.
In the smaller room.
Did anyone else open?
Yeah, he had a bunch of openers. It's because he opens for Shane Gillis.
Yeah,
and so was the other guys who also opened for Shane Gillis, and then my friend Eve as well.
Nice. Did you meet any big dogs?
The closest I met Matt McCusker.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Who's lovely. It was great dude.
Yeah.
But was in the green room. I came back into the green room at one point, and like everybody was like quiet. I'm like, oh man, everybody's really chatty before. Why is everyone quiet? I'm like looking around the room, and in the corner of the room's Andrew Dice Clay chatting to Tony Hinchcliffe, and I'm like,
oh, wow, holy shit.
And Eve messages me, and she goes, oh, do you know that's Andrew Dice Clay? And I just said, Yeah, I know the guy that looks and sounds like Andrew Dice Clay in the corner is Andrew Dice Clay.
Have you seen those bits that he does on Instagram? Where he's like, he would just go up to like random people that are standing around and be like, all right, I know you want a photo. Okay, come on. And they just like don't know who he is. He's like, come on, don't be shy. Come on, I know you want a photo. Come over here. And he like goes around. It's great.
Yeah. Yo, what's the Opie and Anthony thing with Andrew Dice Gay?
It's so good.
Oh! So, yeah, they were in, like, the corner of the green room.
Yeah, they were in the corner of the green room.
And everyone got quiet.
And everyone was just kind of... Well, at least initially, I'm like, I think they must have just arrived there.
Yeah, right.
Right, okay.
And I'm like, why is everyone being weird?
Why is everyone being weird?
That's what I should have done. Yeah. Gone real...
Who are these schmucks?
Real loud. Like, why is everyone being weird? Like, how you guys going?
Who's that old motherfucker talking to Tony?
Just walk in, it's like, it's not like there's famous comedians in here. There's just those two fucking schmucks over there.
Come on, get up, come on, guys. Energy.
Yeah, don't be
hands in.
Yeah. That's fucking mental. Yeah, I saw Mike and Sean Walsh were with Dave Attell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who's the most famous comedian Who's the most famous comedian you probably...
Most famous comedian... Jim Jeffries, probably the most famous I've met.
Nice. Yeah, in Australia.
Yeah, in Australia.
Nice. Yeah, I remember he was probably one of the first comedians I got into back. He had that bit about he puts the vibrating egg up his ass, and like, the string gets like breaks, and then he can't reach it, so he gets chopsticks to go in after it. Do you know this? No. That's great because the bit's like it's stuck in his arse, and he's like, so anyway, I went out for dinner the next night. He goes, and he kept me chopsticks, and then he goes back, and the whole thing is like he's trying to, but he keeps pushing it further into his asshole. But yeah, and did you like gig with him, or did you just cross paths him? Oh, sick, man. Yeah. It seems that anytime I do like anywhere decent, I always seem to miss like a big act that's on. Like someone's on, like I did somewhere, and then the following night, Stephen Merchant from like The Office and stuff was on. I was like,
he's always on a backyard.
Like, he's like always on at these places.
The day after you do it,
yeah. Especially at somewhere like, you know, Top Secret or whatever. It's like, you're in there, and then the next day you fucking like, wherever, Dave Chappelle or something drops in, and you're like, what the fuck am I fucking doing? But did you see his monologue for SNL?
Dave Chappelle, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's great. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did. I liked it. I didn't think it was like, it wasn't. Yeah, it didn't. I didn't find it hilariously funny. I thought he made some good points.
Yeah, it made me laugh a few times, but I mean his whole his whole even just him smoking the cigarette indoors, I'm like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's a big, he's trying to big time. So it's like, I can fucking smoke indoors. I don't give a fuck. And it's just a bit, I don't know. But then the preachy stuff is like, I don't know. It's like when comedians sit down.
Yeah.
We were saying this the other night. It's like,
but it's like he's the kind of comedian that should be able to get away with, like, it's like him and like Patrice O'Neill or something, But like it wasn't. It wasn't to me. It was
to be able to smoke.
Sit down.
Oh, sit down. Yeah.
I might start
and
smoking
pontificate.
on stage.
Yeah,
you should.
Yeah, imagine that. Just fucking.
This is
you're like, you're not. What are you doing?
Just like smoking meth.
Yeah, just smoke. Yeah, just fucking. Yeah, that'd be fucking. Yeah, that'd be fucking hilarious. Like, you'd probably. I don't even know what would happen
if you started smoking.
Smoking on stage.
Depends what stage, I guess. Because I think there are rules where you can technically smoke in theaters and stuff because you just say it's a prop or something.
Yeah, you can
I don't know if it's the same here, but in America it is. That's
why
they
those
can
fake
in America.
fucking cigarettes that they use for movies and stuff like that.
I don't know. Because I don't know. I know I've heard comics in America say that a lot of places let you smoke it if you're on stage performing.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, well, I guess you can be like, it's all part of the fucking.
But maybe it's just the big dogs.
How big do you have? How big do you think you have to get here to be able to
smoke on stage?
Smoke on stage. Or how small? Or how bad does the gig have to be be like? Well, I can just smoke.
I think it would be funnier to do it at a bad gig.
I think we could smoke at Cafe Mo.
At Cafe Mo, I feel like
yeah.
You could just you could take a shit on stage there, and it would actually
improve
the overall quality of the venue.
Or the audience could start smoking too. Everyone could be smoking.
Everybody could be smoking in that little box.
Fucking.
Is there a fire alarm in there? I mean, I guess
in here in this
I
house.
doubt.
No,
there's no one in here.
There's no alarm at all. There's no alarm. It's alarming how little security there is fucking on the property. But there's nothing here. There's nothing in this house worth stealing anyway. So
well, my computer is.
His computer probably. Yeah.
Okay, great. So you could take it.
But I've got. What's that?
You could take it. There's no alarm.
Yeah, true.
He locks his door. So
I've got a double lock.
That's good.
But like, even our lives aren't important. Like, if we all died,
you take the
me,
laptop,
Hamish, and the two other guys died, it wouldn't you know what I mean? It wouldn't really make a difference. You know what I mean?
Well, I think one of our housemates is about to die.
Really? One of our housemates. Yeah, I got in a fight with him yesterday. And
yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, he shits on the toilet seat, and
it's outrageous.
It's outrageous. There's shit on the seat today. There's shit on the rim of the seat. Yeah. In places where you're like,
how does it get there?
How did he even?
He's 60 years old.
He's about 60 years old.
But he's like a roadie. He's like kind of one of those fit 60-year-olds. But he's like real rock and roll. You know what I mean?
How's he shitting on the seat?
Exactly. We don't know. We do not.
No idea.
And you've asked him?
Oh yeah.
I haven't asked him how it's happening.
yeah.
Because that's just
okay. Look, to sort this out, can we just watch you shit?
We should hide a camera in the fucking toilet.
Is it?
Imagine if we got put in prison for like like putting like the news article is like young men are trying to film 60-year-old go to the bathroom. Yeah.
We have to it's not sexual. It's not sexual whatsoever. We're trying to observe his we're trying to understand him as a human being. Like, how is he shitting?
Put it on the Patreon.
Put it on the Patreon.
Film it. Put it on the Patreon.
Well, no, because I put a picture of a shit I took on my floor on Patreon. About a week after me and Mike set it up, and people were like, "What the fuck is this? We didn't pay to see this." Because I did a whole episode about how I had to shit on the floor because there was something wrong with the toilet. And then I put it on the Patreon was up about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And there's about 50 or 60 people on it. And then I was just like, "Hey, here's the shit that I took from that I was talking about on the podcast." And people were like,
no one asked for
No one wanted this.
Did you lose any followers? Any subscribers?
Like 1 or 2 people were like,
we're like,
fuck. Yeah, they were like,
I can't pay money to see.
Yeah. Well, I think on the pod, I was like, I'll put a picture of it on the Patreon, but people probably thought I was fucking joking.
That's a bit.
Because they do that on Tuesdays with stories. They used to like put pictures of the big shits that they took on the Patreon, and you just go and look at it. It's fucking mental, like. But the guy downstairs.
What do you reckon? It's splashback? How do you get it up there?
No, it's explosive. He's got IBS or something. And what's happening is he's going in an emergency, pulling his pants down, and it's
blasting.
It's blasting before he's sitting down.
May I ask what part of the rim? So it's on the seat. It's on the seat.
It'll be on the top of the seat, and then you lift up the thing, and it'll be underneath as well.
Which
means it's rebounding. So it's hitting multiple angles. Yeah. It'll be like hitting the back of the toilet and then hitting up underneath. I don't know what.
So it's on the back part of the seat. It's like clearly where the ass is aiming.
No,
it's on the front.
It's on like the side.
It's on the front.
Sometimes that don't make sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's not if it was in a place that would make sense.
Yeah,
huh? He's hovering.
It's like he's shitting in a fourth dimension. And it's somehow he's like, man, I don't know. I'm aiming for the toilet. I'm
aiming for the toilet, man. I don't know. I think no one taught this guy how to shit in his like. That's what I said to me yesterday. Like I didn't think I'd have to potty train a 60-year-old.
Yeah.
Whatever. Maybe he is hovering. I didn't think about that.
He's got to be hovering, right? He can't be sitting on it. If he's getting the seat, he's got to be hovering.
He might be hovering. It might be a hover job. Yeah, he might be.
He's hovering above it and he's blasting.
Yeah. He's rising above it, man. He's It's like.
That's what you said. He's a sturdy man.
But isn't that the irony? The toilet is disgusting because of him, and he's too disgusting.
Well, if there's shit on the seat, I don't want to sit on it. I'd hover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whether it's my own or not.
Yeah. The toilet's so bad. That's one of the reasons why I don't really have women on, because I'm like, because they come here and they were like, "Can I use the bathroom?" It's like,
and you're like, "No."
And you're like, you really don't want to do that. Like,
just tell them to wear a diaper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're just gonna if you wanna come on, you're gonna have to soil yourself.
Go to the toilet beforehand or after. You can't do it.
Like the only two women we've had on was Abby, and she's Indian, she's used to that. You know what I mean? And then fucking your one Rebecca, who's just a stripper, so as well, she's kind of like, you know what I mean. She said that she's used to horrible toilets and strip clubs and stuff. So you know what I mean. You gotta pick them right, you know. But I almost got into a fight with your man downstairs yesterday, and because he was complaining. He texted me complaining about the state of the bathroom, like about other things being dirty. And I heard him coming in downstairs. And I went, fuck this, because it was all just passive aggressive messages for like a few months. And I went down and just fucking like had a go at him. And it was so funny. I went to I kind of appreciate this though, because I don't like small talk. The guy who lives down there, I saw him in Sainsbury's before the pod, and he obviously didn't want to talk to me. So we were both at the self-checkout beside each other, and then I knew he'd finished scanning and paying for his stuff, and then he just stayed there on his phone to wait for me to leave.
Of course. Yeah, great.
Because he didn't want to walk back to the house with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get it, man. I just fucking totally. I actually appreciate that you did that.
Yeah.
They accused me of stealing in Sainsbury's last night, and I was very lucky because it was the one time I didn't actually steal.
No, but that's the beauty. That's my trick, is that you intentionally get caught. You make it look like you're stealing, get caught a few times. Be like, no, but I've scanned everything.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, he's just...
How do you intentionally make it look like you're stealing?
So you start, like, you just kind of, like, look shady. You look around, you look at the security guard. You kind of, like, maybe, like, scan or, like, make it look like you've kind of haven't scanned something properly or something.
Yeah.
Or, like, you just look dodgy.
Yeah.
That's a funny way of... So when you're actually stealing, you're looking as normal as possible.
No, you just do the same kind of thing.
You do the same
kind of thing, and then just hope.
No, because then they're like, I've already accused this guy multiple times of stealing, and he hasn't.
Yeah, right.
So I'm not going to just keep doing it. They're just like, he's just a weirdo.
Yeah.
I've been accused of stealing twice there, and each time... The funny thing is, I've been accused of stealing twice, and each time I got accused, I wasn't stealing.
Yeah.
And then I've stolen from there about, I'd say, like at least once a day for the past 2 years since I've lived here, and I steal from there every day. And the 2 times they've caught me, I've actually paid, and I'm paranoid that they're letting me steal, and they're just, because I know people who own shops and stuff. Yeah. And it's like, sometimes we let them steal and then just build up like a fucking catalog of evidence,
really?
so that they're like, they can really fucking nail you when the time comes. They can be like, you can't be, oh, it was a once off. It's like, no, you've been stealing for like 6 months or whatever. So I'm paranoid that they're like observing me.
Okay, I'm gonna stop stealing that.
I'm kind of like,
I didn't know they're doing it. I thought that maybe they would do that, and then I'm like, nah, I'm just being paranoid. They wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
it's not worth their time to like.
So you steal from the same. So it's the same one every time.
I don't steal that much. I'll steal like little bits and pieces sometimes.
Yeah, like it's the best case of like shitting where you eat, because I used to steal. I didn't pay for food for about 7 months last year. I was just stealing everything, and sorry, not last year, 2023, and then I just got into the habit of it, and then and then I was like, right, I'll never steal from that Sainsbury's, because that's like my local Sainsbury's. I can't get banned from there.
Yeah.
And just like sooner or later I ended up just like fucking, I was like, fucking fine. Like, and I didn't get, like last night I got caught, and then the guy just saw me and was like, hey, and I was like, what? And then he like brought me back to the machine, and he like checked my fucking what I had, and he compared it to what was like on the receipt or whatever. And I mean, like when I worked in retail, that was that was like a sackable offense to accuse someone of stealing when they didn't steal.
Yeah,
because it was like fucking defamation. Like I almost lost my job in a place because I falsely accused a guy of stealing. And then he was like, "Oh, that's defamation because there's other people in the store, and you fucking people thought I was a fucking thief, and you know what I mean, and I wasn't. I was very close to. This was when I was so desperate for money. Back when I first moved here, I was in that Sainsbury's, and I was walking down the aisle, and I fucking I saw a guy coming with a trolley, and I was like, "Oh, I'll move out of the way." It's probably Chris.
Oh yeah.
He plays music out loud like that. 100%.
He has a speaker that he takes on the train. Like he.
Oh, he's that guy.
He's one of those guys.
He takes a Bluetooth speaker.
He's one of those guys. Yeah,
Bluetooth speaker on the train.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a menace in his own house and also in public. He's just, you know what I mean. But yeah, like I was in Sainsbury's and I fucking stand there and I saw this guy with a trolley. I was like, oh, I'll just stand in, and I kind of stood in against the wall, and then where I was standing was where he wanted to put the trolley, and he didn't check to see was there someone there, and he basically just pinned me up against the wall with the fucking thing. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And he against the wall, and then I pushed the thing back. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And the security guard came over and was just like, what were you doing standing there? And I was like, what was I doing standing there? Like, you fucking moved out of the way. And then the next day I was like, fuck, maybe I could get a fucking couple of grand out of this. And I ran. Like, that's how fucking, how low how desperate I was.
But what, you would have had to have had an injury.
Well, this is the thing. So I did
show them your penis.
I was
They're like, oh my god,
like, that looks like it's been like that forever. No, that's recent.
Yeah, my dick got caught in it smushed my dick into my body. Usually there's about 10 inches there, but it pushed it all the way in. It was only 2. But I didn't. I thought I'll call up no win no fee. Those guys who they don't actually charge you unless they win the case.
Yeah.
So I called them up. I got the nicest lady ever, and I'm such an idiot. I didn't plan out my story.
Yeah.
And she's like, so what happened? And then I told her, and then she was like, okay, and what injuries do you have? And I was like, oh fuck, I didn't even
Yeah.
I just thought I'd call them up and they'd be like, oh yeah, here's 10 grand. Like, do you know what I mean? Because it's on camera. I thought they were just gonna hand me.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, we'll just send you money. And then they're like, what injuries do you have? And then I was like, okay, but I should have said, because I know from other people who've pulled similar shit, that you say you either have whiplash, a back injury, or a concussion, because there are things that can't be proven.
Yeah, and also everyone has disc herniations and stuff. So if you got a scan, it would probably come up with that you have disc herniations and stuff. Yeah.
So I was like, oh well, my arm, and I said, I swear to God, my pride. Yeah. Now I have a fucking irrational fear of trolleys. And I said to her, I was like, yeah, I just I swear to God, I was like, I just emotionally, I had a panic. I had a panic attack. I was like, I have anxiety. And I fucking, I had a panic attack afterwards. And all this sort of stuff.
She just calls you a
faggot. Yeah. Oh, so you're a faggot. All right. Okay. But yeah, she said, she was and she was so nice. She was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I was like, oh, this is breaking my heart. This is breaking my heart. And she was like, well,
she's like, you're hard. Yeah. Oh my God, I'll add
actually, that to we can't say for this.
Yeah. So she was just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. She's like, we will get on this, but you have to go down to Sainsbury's today and speak to the manager and all this sort of stuff. Get the footage and all this sort of stuff. And she was like, yeah, it's going to be a long process. And then she's like, you have to go to a doctor to get them to examine you and then basically, diagnose you with whatever fucking injury that you fucking, got from the thing. And then I was just like, yeah, all right, yeah. And then I just was like, okay, I just bailed on the plan. I was like, I just don't have the fucking, I'm just not going to do that. And then they kept ringing me then over a few weeks, just being like, are you okay? Like, do you want to proceed with this claim? Because I gave them the name and address of the fucking Sainsbury's and everything.
Yeah.
And I just kept fucking just ignoring them. And thankfully it fucking... But I'm ashamed to admit that there's been moments I've been in supermarkets, especially that fucking Sainsbury's, where I go down and the floor is wet and there's no wet floor sign. And I'm like, it's perfect. It's fucking like, do you know what I mean? Or there's ice on the floor. That Sainsbury's is terrible for it. They're asking for a fucking claim to be made against them.
The video footage of you backing up.
Yeah. Just the footage is me seeing it and being like, doing the loop and coming around. But yeah, and I've said it to them before. Like I said, like, you know, like I've walked in and there's been like ice or water on the floor and no wet floor sign. And I've been like, hey, yeah, you should probably, just to let you know, there's a fucking, you know, there's a puddle of water on the other aisle. And they're like, they look at you like, don't tell me how to do my job. Yeah, they don't give a shit. Yeah. So it's just like, all right, fuck you. I'll fucking, you know, get some money out of this, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I know, I have friends who own like garages and stuff, and the amount of people. I remember I worked in a petrol station and a guy took out a claim against the petrol station because, you know, those blue paper towel dispenser things that are like on the wall, they're mounted on the wall, because to fill them you have to like use a key to open it up and then you pull the face of it down, you put the roll in, and whoever had last filled it didn't close it properly, so when he was pulling out the thing kind of opened and like hit him on the head. But like it's a thin plastic thing like this, and he like took a claim out that he got like a concussion or something from the thing. And when it's claims that small, they just go, yeah, and they just give you fucking the money because they're just not arsed getting, you know, fucking lawyers or whatever. Like, so, I mean,
always settles out of court.
Huh? They always settle out of court. Yeah, they're just like, do you know what, fuck it. But like, yeah, there's a big claim culture of like, I think even at one time was like, recently he was trying to do that thing where like you jump out in front of a car and get hit by
oh my god.
Have you seen those guys in the States?
Maybe
yeah.
Jump out in front of a train.
Yeah. And the whole Sainsbury's thing was a joke as well. Like I didn't actually do that. But what were you saying, the guys on stage?
The guys in the States who they'll take their car onto the highway and then stop in front of another vehicle, so they run into the back of it.
They brake check.
Yeah,
I was getting brake checked the other day. There was because people get so the drivers here in London get so pissed off if you like. So it's 20 miles an hour everywhere in London.
Yeah,
right.
But there are people who know where the speed cameras are, and it's like if you're not near a speed camera, everyone goes 30. It's just kind of like an unwritten rule. But I'm too paranoid, so I'll keep going 20, and people will be honking at me, and like they just have no patience whatsoever. And one guy did that. He was flashing me at night and stuff, and then he like overtook me angrily, and I'm so petty, and I just start flashing my lights at him, just like this, constantly.
Was I in the
car? He starts like, no. He starts like brake checking me just constantly, and like one point he even starts reversing to come back to me, and he was just so mad, and he was like sticking his like middle finger out of the car and stuff, and I'm just like loving it. I'm like, I've ruined your night. This is the best. This is so good, and I part of me wanted him to get out of the car because I know, like,
would you have hit him?
Hit him.
I mean, the car.
I was thinking about that, or I was also thinking about I had the tire iron for like changing car. I was going to go out with that and just be like,
smash his window in.
Yeah, like just to scare him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless I see that he has
take the tire iron.
Unless that he, because there's a chance he would have come out with a bigger weapon. You know what I mean? So it's like warfare. You
brought a tire iron to a fucking cockfight.
Yeah, he's
got a rooster.
Yeah, he's got a rooster in the boot. Yeah, he's just like, oh, you're gonna regret that. Opens up his boot and just loads of chickens come flying out.
I just it's just the best. It's so satisfying to see. It's like pushing. It's like, you know, just pushing a button that makes confetti comes out. It's just like one little thing can just make someone act out.
But that's how people get killed, because they pull that shit with the wrong person.
Yeah, I know.
An actual psycho gets out of the car and it's like, oh, you want to fuck with me? And they just fucking whatever, shoot them or whatever. But remember that time we were driving somewhere and a woman flashed her lights at you because...
Oh yeah, similar kind of thing.
Yeah. She like flashed her lights because Hamish...
It was the same thing. I probably wasn't going fast enough.
Yeah,
I was going the speed limit.
And then she was like flat, and then she wanted to overtake it, and then she overtook us, and then because of the traffic, she was just
stuck in front of us.
She didn't
the whole
gain
way.
any distance. She was just stuck in front of us, and Hamish just kept flashing the lights at her. Because we were behind her for about 20 minutes. Every 5 minutes, we just flashed the lights at her. She's probably fucking absolutely terrified. Like, all right, guys, that was Peter Jones. You can follow Peter on Instagram at @PeterTheJones. He's got he's taping his special on Monday, the 24th of February. So that's next Monday. If you're listening to this on Tuesday, Monday, the 24th of February at the Bill Murray. I think it's at 6 p.m. or 6:30. You'd be a fool to miss it if you're in London and you're looking for something to do. Come along. I'll be there. Hamish Shepherd will be there. and it'll be a jolly old time. It'll be fantastic. So do come to that if you can. Support the pod on Patreon, or just tell people. The link is in the fucking show notes. You know yourself at this stage. Like, subscribe, rate the pod on Spotify. If you're a new listener, hello, how are you doing? That's it. Thanks as always for listening, and see you next week. All right, bye.